Well, today we're going to fill in the flesh area, and so the entire preliminary painting stage will be finished at that point. But I wanted to show you a couple things. Last time I talked about adding solvent, and here's an example of some of the things that can happen. So these bare streaks happened because there was too much solvent in the paint, and with the canvas up on the easel like this, gravity was able to pull that extra liquid paint down and create these random streaks. Now I don't mind that because this painting stage it's just preliminary. Like I said, I don't try to paint and get everything right the first time. It's more like creating stages of things to react against. And so like this area of his back is just good enough. You know, there's some dark, there's some medium, there's some light. And now I can address each of those kinds of details and push and pull them to refine them into the finished state that I want. But here's another example of a little extra solvent in the paint. This area right here is the same color paint as this area right here. The difference is I had a little bit more solvent in it, and so there's more of the bare canvas showing through. Now in this case, that works to my advantage because light is literally showing through the canvas in the same way that moonlight would be showing through his sleeve. And so I can use that in creating the illusion. It's not finished, but I can keep that. That's what, call a happy accident. Have the same thing happening over here. And so whether I use more or less of that will come later, but it's pretty cool. At least I think so. And one last thing to say before I get painting is there's lots of hard edges right now. Very, very sharp division between the water there and the fabric here. It's a softer edge up here, but the horizon line, the sea against the sky, is a pretty hard edge. The outline of Jesus' figure, his clothes, it's another pretty hard edge, very hard edge between the sky and the sea. A lot softer with his hair, and that's good. I've learned over time that probably because we grew up on a diet of cartoons and comic books, that the default position for most people is to keep a hard, distinct edge around everything. And so I've learned that a soft edge, so a blurred edge between, say, like the hair, it's just kind of disappearing into the sky. The more soft edges you can add to your painting, the more atmospheric and lifelike it starts to feel. Maybe we'll get up close. I kind of overpainted and got a fuzzy effect at the edge there. That's great, and I'm going to keep things like that. The more hard-edged everything is, the less unified in a space things start to feel. And since the default from our diet of cartoons and comic books is to put hard edges around everything, or coloring books too, I find it's almost impossible to add too many soft edges, because you're always going to be defaulting towards wanting to have crisp edges and sharp edges and clear delineation. So lean into the soft edges, let things melt and disappear into each other, and not 100%, obviously, but what I found is we're so pre-programmed to go for those hard edges that If we start adding soft edges to the point that we start becoming uncomfortable with how many we have, we might be in the neighborhood of just right. So let's get painting.